Valentine's Day. We all know it is a time to celebrate romance and love, but the origins of this festival of roses, chocolate, and Cupid are actually quite dark. In fact, bloody. So what exactly is the story behind this lovey-dovey holiday? We'll have to take a trip to ancient Rome. Ancient Rome, a place of diverse, rich culture and history, inspired by the many gods, Jupiter, Neptune, Mars, Venus, and more. There were so many festivals in ancient Rome, but today we'll be taking a look at the festival of Lupercalia, celebrated from February 13 to February 15. Lupercalia was Proto-Valentine's Day. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture, as well as to the Roman founders Romulus and Remus. To begin the festival, members of the Lupercae, an order of Roman priests, would gather at a sacred cave where the infants Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome, were believed to have been cared for by a she-wolf or lupa. The priests would sacrifice a goat for fertility and a dog for purification. They would then strip the goat's hide into strips, dip them into the sacrificial blood, and take it out to the streets. Men sacrificing goats and dogs. Creepy, but okay. I get it. It was old times, but no, it doesn't end there. After the sacrifice of the goat and dog, men would whip women with the bloody hides of the animals they had just slain. And to put this more into the real atmosphere and picture, the Romans would be intoxicated and without clothes. And far from being fearful, Roman women would line up for the men and welcome the touches of the hides, because it was believed to make them more fertile in the coming year. And this spine-chilling festival actually included a matchmaking lottery in which all the young women in the city would place their names in a big urn. The city's bachelors would each choose a name and become paired for the year with this chosen woman. These matches often ended in marriage. The ancient Romans may also be responsible for the name of our modern-day love. Emperor Claudius II executed two men, both named Valentine, on February 14th of different years in the 3rd century. Their martyrdom was honored by the Catholic Church with the celebration of Saint Valentine's Day. What? How did we just go from pagan Rome to Christianity? Well, after Christianity spread to Rome and other lands, and Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity, he and the church adopted existing pagan rituals and customs into Christianity in order to convert more pagans. For example, Christmas was originally a celebration known as Saturnalia. But Valentine's Day wasn't something that was galvanized into Christianity during the time of Constantine. It all happened in the 5th century. So let's fast forward to where it all started. The execution of the Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine, all of whom were martyred. One legend contends that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome. When Emperor Claudius II decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families, he outlawed marriage for young men. Valentine realized the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius, and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered that he be put to death. Still, others insist that it was Saint Valentine of Terni, a bishop who was the true namesake of the holiday. He, too, was beheaded by Claudius II outside of Rome. Other stories suggest that Claudius may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons, where they were often persecuted. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine grieving himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter. Before his death, it is alleged that he wrote her a letter signed, "From your Valentine," an expression that is still used today. Now coming to the time of Pope Gelasius I, He muddled things in the 5th century by combining Saint Valentine's Day with Lupercalia to Christianize the pagan holiday and bring in more converts. But the festival now was more of a theatrical interpretation of what it once had been. But at least they put their clothes back on. Around the same time, the Normans celebrated Gallatin's Day. Gallatin meant lover of women. That was likely confused with Saint Valentine's Day at some point, in part because they sound alike. As the years went on, the holiday grew sweeter. Chaucer and Shakespeare romanticized it in their work, and it gained popularity throughout Britain and the rest of Europe. During the Middle Ages, it was commonly believed in France and England that February the 14th was the beginning of birds' mating season, which added to the idea that the middle of Valentine's Day should be a day for romance. The English poet Geoffrey Chaucer was the first to record Saint Valentine's Day as a day of romantic celebration in his 1375 poem Parliament of Fool Writing, for this was on Saint Valentine's Day when every fool cometh there to choose his mate. Valentine's greetings were popular as far back as the Middle Ages, though written valentines didn't begin to appear until after 1400. The oldest known valentine still in existence today was a poem written in 1445 and 1415 by Charles, Duke of Lourdes, to his wife while he was imprisoned in the Tower of London following his capture at the Battle of Agincourt. The greeting is now part of the manuscript collection of the British Library in London, England. Several years later, it was believed that King Henry hired a writer named John Lydgate to compose a Valentine note to Catherine of Valois. Now some of you might be thinking, so what about Cupid? I thought of anything Valentine's Day cards as a cherub, launching arrows of love at unsuspecting lovers. But the Roman god Cupid has its roots in Greek mythology as the Greek god of love, Eros. Accounts of his birth vary. Some say he is the son of Nyx and Erebus, others of Aphrodite and Ares. Still others suggest he is the son of Iris and Zephyrus, or even Aphrodite and Zeus, who would have been both his father and grandfather. According to the Greek archaic poets, Eros was a handsome immortal, played with the emotions of gods and men, using golden arrows to incite love and lead in ones to subversion. It wasn't until the Hellenistic period that he began to be portrayed as the mischievous, chubby child he'd become on Valentine's Day cards. Eventually, the tradition made its way to the New World. The Industrial Revolution ushered in factory-made cards in the 19th century. And in 1919, Hallmark Cards of Kansas City began mass-producing Valentines. And February has not been the same since. And now St. Valentine's Day is more or less a holiday of big business.